Welcome back to our third episode of R2 Detour Bros. We want to welcome anyone who's listening or not to our episode. It's me, Thomas. I'm joined by Josh. And today we are going to be talking about our favorite characters with another set of brothers who are twins. Fun fact.
In all fairness, it's a good thing you brought us in because episode 3 was the best.
Oh. I agree.
It was. So I'm Tim, by the way. I will say, because I did listen to your guys' first episode, we talked about episode 3 being the best. And I think with the benefit of hindsight, looking back, it kind of, I know when people saw it at the time, they're like, the Anakin turn was too quick. But if you go back and see the subtlety of, he heavily relied on Palpatine to give him guidance, more so than he did with the Jedi Council. He would get stuff from the Jedi Council and then even think like, oh, is this good, or should I, let me go talk to Palpatine and see what he thinks of. Now, I do think like the jump from like, okay, like, yeah, he leans on him for guidance to just slaughtering children still might be a little extreme, but like that influence was there.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan had someone that he was close to, and he knew ahead of time that Padme was pregnant with Anakin kid, and was okay with just kind of letting that. He knew about their relationship, you know,
Because
anybody
he had
else.
his own with Satine.
Yeah, so he was cool with it, and that's one of the things that kind of drove Anakin away, was they had this idea that no one was going to be accepting, and they should have known that Obi-Wan, being the cool uncle that he was, you know, fine with it.
Yes, it is Satine. Which is kind of ironic that Ewan McGregor's character lost 2 Satines.
Why is that ironic?
It's like that one meme where it's like, you know, if I had a nickel for every time that blah blah blah, blah happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. It's from Phineas and Ferb.
I'm not sure I know what that is.
Yeah, it's my generation. You old farts.
I don't understand the reference,
I know.
and I don't intend to. Plus, it's got the best lightsaber fight in Anakin versus Obi-Wan over the lava pit, which is just, yeah, so good.
Yes.
As much as I love the Maul fight in episode 1, I think that's the best one.
And those Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen had years of practice, where they learned each other's fighting style in real life too, which is why that made like such a good fight scene. And it's like half the movie too. Like,
It's just weird that they never mentioned Ahsoka.
oh, Ahsoka didn't exist yet. Ahsoka doesn't come out for another couple of years. So yeah, we have Mike and Tim with us today. They're
Oh, I don't get to introduce myself?
yep.
Oh, you want the full introduction.
We'll let,
I'm Mike, Tim's twin brother.
We got, what are we talking? We're talking about who's our favorite character today.
yeah.
We're just going to go through each person, just who's your favorite character, why, maybe a short bio of each character, and then go from there.
Yeah. And then we got a little surprise at the end for the other 2 that they don't know about yet.
Now, are we sticking with characters just from, like, canon, or just characters in general?
Characters in general, we can do that. I mean,
Okay.
I think we should let one of our guests start.
So I'm just worried that mine will be repeated. We think the best character in Star Wars is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I think even like old man Obi-Wan, you know, is teaching Luke, but especially where he has, you know, being the one that guides the chosen one, you know, the Clone Wars and stuff. I think Obi-Wan's probably the most iconic Star Wars character behind Vader. I think more people would probably recognize Vader. Obi-Wan is definitely the most rounded character when it comes to Star Wars.
Obi-Wan's definitely a good choice. It's strong
Yes,
character.
very strong. I mean, hell, he took on like Anakin, the chosen one, and held his own and won.
He took on, I mean, if you look at the
Grievous,
characters, Grievous,
Maul,
Maul, Dooku,
yeah,
Oh, Dooku.
Vader, Anakin, yeah, Maul again. If you go into the extended canon,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely a good choice. Obi-Wan is a good choice. I remember playing a game. I don't know if anybody remembers playing a game. I think it was called Obi-Wan. And
No.
I did enjoy that game. And Obi-Wan
Unless-
had some funny voice acting.
Unless you left it here, I don't remember it.
I never had it, so I played it. I played it somewhere
yeah.
else.
Yeah, then I don't remember it.
That's a
Because-
game called Obi-Wan.
Gotta.
I'm pretty sure it was called. I'd have to look it up, which I can definitely see if I can find it. But I remember it being so funny. And you can push. I think it was on Xbox, like the original Xbox. And I think you could push like Y so many times. And he would say something, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Do you understand my language?" or something like that. It's like the funniest little thing that I remember from that game.
Now I got to give our audience a quick little recap. I am 11 years younger than Josh, so just because we know a lot about Star Wars doesn't mean we grew up with the same Star Wars type of. Because he grew up during the prequels. I was 5 when the last one came out, when Revenge of the Sith came out. So yeah, we have a very different view on Star Wars.
Obi-Wan
Tim?
made our list.
Yep, Obi-Wan's up there. All right, Mike, go ahead.
Kind of stole my thunder there.
Ooh.
Because Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars character. I mean, named my son after him.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Named my son after Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, I looked this up real quick. Let's take a side note here. December 19th, 2021, the video game Star Wars Obi-Wan released in North America for Xbox.
Never.
God, I never got to play that game.
I enjoyed it. I would go through it again probably. I enjoyed it enough to play it now. So I don't even know where to find it. I just got a Wikipedia here. But yep, 2001 Star Wars Obi-Wan.
I was a year old.
Oh God, you're a fetus.
Actually, this game does look familiar. I think we did have it at one point.
It's possible.
Or like I remember seeing it, but like you gave it to somebody else.
It could be.
It would be interesting to know what storyline that followed.
I don't remember it enough. I don't remember
It's
it enough.
Legends.
Like pre-Clone Wars or post-Clone Wars?
I believe it takes place.
It's originally titled Star Wars Episode 1 Obi-Wan, so it's
That would
probably
be pre-Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Pre-Clone Wars, then.
Yeah. Shortly
Or they
prior
were-
to the events of Phantom Menace, so it's before Phantom Menace.
That'd be cool to see.
Hmm.
Him
Yeah.
training with Qui-Gon Jinn.
You know they're
Oh, I'm really sad I didn't play that now.
You still can. I'm sure there's an emulator or whatever somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it's.
So this is way off topic of best favorite character.
Oh,
It's
here
got
we
two
go.
of them, man.
Episode is-
I like how
Here-
you said best favorite character.
Here's the plot. Here it is, real quick. Back to it. Obi-Wan is retelling the events
Okay.
of Phantom Menace, beginning with him surviving an attempt on his life by a criminal called Black Heth on Coruscant, and he reports to the Jedi Council, and that's where it goes from there. So it's
That would be fun.
it does sound like a cool storyline. Y'all's favorite character, and you never played the video game.
I never even knew it existed.
An Xbox in 2001.
For repetitivity or whatever that word I'm trying to think of is, I will go with my backup character, and it's Darth Vader. Even like old man Darth was like, but I guess that kind of like incorporates Anakin into it as well, because like Anakin before he became Darth Vader, or unless you go by killed by Darth Vader and became a new person, there's a certain point of view. But yeah, Darth Vader just had this aura about him, like before you even saw him in person in the first movie. You just watched everybody kind of like walk away when that door opened, and you knew something was coming. Yeah, and I mean, it was only made better as the saga went on, turned himself back, threw the Emperor over the cliff, but then that was retconned. And but you go back through like the Clone Wars and everything like that, and then you go through Rebels, and you actually get to see like a young Darth Vader. Like my biggest complaint in all of Star Wars is we don't get to see where Vader really becomes himself and goes through and just slaughters all the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
You do. in one comic that that Josh has to read still. It is a really good scene. It's a really good read. It takes place about 5 years after, maybe 10 years after. Oh wait, no. It takes place after A New Hope. Between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. That's when it takes place. Because there's another line of I don't remember, Heroes I think is what it was called, where they cross halfway through that series.
Okay.
That run. But yeah. But you do get to see him in his prime during that time, even as old. Old, air quotes.
I know that the comics have him illustrated like that Vader, and then I believe there's a couple books that have it as well. I've not read any Vader books though.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the only good scene in Rogue One.
That was good.
That cough was because he doesn't agree with my opinion on Rogue One.
Rogue One sucks.
I wouldn't go that far. There's a lot in that movie, though. I will defend your point of Rogue One not being the best. Because I think it's where the character's blind, and he's just walking into laser fire, and he's just walking through unscathed, and he's like saying some mantra to the Force, and all I can picture is Han Solo. Yeah, all I can picture is Han Solo in the first sequel movie where he goes, "That's not how the Force works. That's not how any of this works."
Yeah.
and that's all I can picture for that scene, because that would be the perfect. That's not how the Force works. That's not how any of this works.
So we have Obi-Wan and Anakin, or is it just Darth Vader? Are you including Anakin then?
It's hard to say to include Anakin
Well, Darth Vader killed Anakin, so
in a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Murdered him.
Yeah. Because I don't think Obi-Wan even considers him the same person anymore. So he's Darth Vader, not Obi-Wan or Anakin. Josh, how about you? What's your favorite?
Okay.
I know who your favorite is.
Yeah, mine was created in Knights of the Old Republic, which was just referenced, and mine is Revan. I absolutely love Revan from very early to his entire story. Through Knights of the Old Republic is very interesting. It's one of the best games I think I've ever played. Definitely like one of the best games, probably my favorite Star Wars game, one of the best role-playing games I've ever played. But yeah, Revan, he's also in the sequel of those, or I guess the third installment of those games, which is the online game. And he lives for like a few hundred years. He comes back to life. He's got a pretty crazy story. And then there's a book that bridges the gap between that game and the events that happened almost right after the end of Knights of the Old Republic. But Revan would be my favorite character.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I knew that. I could have said that. I mean, you've even dressed up as him for Halloween many a times. You have his mask sitting on a.
Yeah, right behind me, actually. Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, turn your camera so we can see it.
Oh yeah, right here. It's right here. I'm pointing.
Yeah, see, Josh,
right there.
Yeah, I'm pointing at Josh. He's right there.
Mike, if there's more debating later, you can use an argument against Josh because you just have to ask him what his cat's name is.
Oh, true.
All right, I'm waiting.
Yeah, my cat's name is Vader.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
My cat is named after another Lazora.
Tally. From,
Sci-fi series.
Okay.
Yes. So we have Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, and Revan. My favorite is Ahsoka Tano. She is, I don't know, I just like her. She's very level-headed. Like, she has Anakin's aggression. Like, she knows when to hold it back and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. She learned from the best Jedi, I think. I would consider him one of the best Jedi. One of the strongest, at least. But yeah, it's Ahsoka Tano. I liked her character in the Clone Wars, and
Plus, she's got pretty cool lightsabers.
yes, the two. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 So very
Yeah.
similarly, why I like Revan is kind of why Ahsoka would be high on my list too. Revan has ultimately mastered both sides of the Force. He was a Jedi Knight, and then he was a Sith Lord, and then he completely abandoned both sides for a long time and went as neutral. He would just adapt whatever side of the Force that was best, and he lived that way for a while. Had a following, the Revanites, but that's very similar to Ahsoka. She gets kicked out of the Jedi Order, and then she has her they're white lightsabers. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And her lightsabers are white because she purified them from a Sith Lord. That's why hers are white. So you know how when they bleed the Kyber crystal, that's how you get it red? She purified it, went through that, and that's why hers are white.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know if that's canonical or not, but that's typically how you get the white lightsabers, is you take a Sith and then you purify them.
Okay. And she's
Which I
not
don't-
technically a Jedi anymore, right? She's a neutral
No.
Force user.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is why in The Mandalorian, she was not assisting Luke. She was helping him, but not like
Mm-hmm.
rebuilding the Jedi Order. She was just there, kind of guiding him, but not really, because she doesn't fully believe in the Jedi Order anymore. I mean, there was a lot of corruption, and not corruption per se, but blindness is a better word.
Jedi
Yeah.
are evil from a certain point of view.
My allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. Sorry.
I like that line. The only a Sith deals in absolutes.
As he,
Which is an
deals in
absolute. Yeah.
Again,
But,
call back to the first episode, or our first episode on the podcast, where I said George Lucas is not very good at writing a script.
Now,
you missed the most
God, that's
quotable bad line of all time while talking about George Lucas hand-fisted writing, when you didn't mention, I hate sand.
Sand, yeah.
It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
And he got Natalie Portman doing that. So, we got our favorites in. So,
Here we go.
the surprise for the second half of this episode, which is our second module, is we are now doing a 1v1v1. They're all fighting. Who's gonna win? And we have to debate it. I wish I would have picked somebody more powerful now, even though I knew the surprise.
yeah. Let's see. 2 for 2 with the.
Yeah, he's definitely beat Ahsoka a couple times. Yeah, he won against Ahsoka as in Rebels. So
One's also won a few times against the Anakin Vader combo. In fact, it's because Obi-Wan won that we have Darth, because he had the high ground.
Yeah, but he didn't finish the job.
he didn't want to. It was his brother. Would you
He
want
was
to
the
kill your
chosen
brother?
one.
Uncertain.
Depends on the day, I suppose. I mean, in all fairness, if, you know, like you talk about, like, would you kill your brother? If I just watched a hologram video slaughtering children, I'd probably be a little bit more okay with it. Like,
And him going after his wife.
yeah, he just gets done choking his wife.
Yeah,
You
but,
know. All of the things that just scream, no, I think I'm okay with this.
No, I said if you go back to
Episode 3.
and you turn on the titles, it'll actually say harder down.
I heard it. Okay, I'll repeat the I'll repeat the
Do you
joke.
need to?
When you go back to episode 3 and you turn on the subtitles, it actually says harder daddy. That was the joke that he just made.
He lost to him in Obi-Wan too. And the only reason that he killed him in episode 4 was so that Luke could escape.
Yeah.
So I would say Obi-Wan certainly has the advantage over Vader.
And that I think it's not out of power, it's out of emotion. That's the only reason why I think Obi-Wan would win against Vader. Because he messes with, like, doesn't like physically try to mess with Vader's mind, but just him being there is enough to throw him off of his murder streak, essentially.
Yeah.
Revan's the one.
Revan is the wild card.
Yeah, that's
Is-
tough.
it's-
I don't know if he's strong enough. Vader's really strong. Like I know he's. Yeah, I don't know if he's strong enough to beat Vader.
But if he recognizes the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin, I think he could play on that.
Oh, this is
You
a
know.
battle royale.
I would say, yeah, battle royale. We'll do a battle royale and then like
We're
a
doing
one-on-one.
battle royale.
I don't think Ahsoka's gonna make it in the battle royale.
I don't think Ahsoka's making it in any of the fights.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, she's going up against two of the ones you could describe as the Sith Lord, and one of the guys that trained her.
And
Yeah.
the guy that trained one.
Yeah, I don't think she would last very long. Yeah, so if they win in a battle royale, I think yeah, there's not any room for Ahsoka there.
No.
Royal doesn't fare well for Obi-Wan because I can see a tag team between Revan and or one of those temporary alliances, Revan and Vader.
Yeah, I think they're both smart enough to get together in the beginning.
Yeah, you take out the biggest threat first.
I've been watching a lot of Survivor. What y'all just described is an episode of Survivor. A temporary alliance, and we're gonna take out the biggest threat first.
Everyone off first.
You just leave Ahsoka to the end, cause she don't matter.
Oh, poor Snips.
Aww.
I definitely think that Obi-Wan and Snips would try to get together, but I don't think it would be enough to stop the other two if it was a battle royale.
What is Revan's lightsaber?
Red and purple.
Now, what if we had them
Yeah.
all battle like individually, one-on-one? You got
Well, I think Obi-Wan has proved himself against Vader,
yeah.
and Vader, it's kind of a Vader beats Ahsoka,
Yeah,
so Obi-Wan beats Ahsoka because Obi-Wan beats.
yeah. Then that puts
I don't
like
know
I'd be
because
so
I think Ahsoka might be able to beat Obi-Wan because she's a lot more acrobatic than he is. Because
He does have the defensive uses.
yeah, she is a lot more offensive. I don't remember what form exactly she uses. Powers and abilities. Here we go. Lightsaber abilities. Jarkai. Oh, Jarkai is just using 2 lightsabers.
Well, has anybody read the Revan book or any story of Revan after the Knights of the Old Republic?
No, I have not.
I think you're the only one.
Yes, you're the only one who knows anything about Revan.
Okay, so back then there was what they called the Emperor, which is very similar to like Palpatine now, like the Emperor. But the Emperor back then, I forget his name. He was strong enough to like destroy worlds. Like he was insanely powerful. He corrupted Revan and Malak, sent them on their own way. So there was an entire hidden Sith, I don't even know, army, and Revan wants to go kill him. So right after that book starts with his journey on wanting to go kill him. And then if you play the games, it kind of spoils what happens to Revan, but he ends up getting frozen for like 300 or 400 years, and where him and that emperor are just kind of stalemating it, if that makes sense. And then he comes back to life in the online game. So Revan's actually in the online game, which takes place like 400 years after Knights of the Old Republic.
Real quick, I just looked up, and Darth Revan is technically canon.
He is now, yes. As of, what is the last movie? Rise of Skywalker? Yeah, as far as
Yeah.
I know, the only time they brought him in canon was he was mentioned in the visual directory or visual
Oh yeah.
dictionary of Rise of Skywalker. So he was just one of the Sith Lords that are in the stadium in that whatever scene that. I don't know. That's not a stadium. Like a Coliseum? I don't know what that is.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, so he's mentioned there, and that's what made him canon. So they did make him canon now, and he's technically has no background.
Wasn't it hinted at he's the one that trained Plagueis?
I don't think so. I don't know who trained Plagueis. I've read the Plagueis book actually. It's been a while. There's a Plagueis book that is
Oh.
really interesting, and it talks about like how smart he was and how he was like pulling strings behind everything, and it actually goes into like I think up to when does Palpatine win the election? Is that in episode 1?
Yeah, episode 1.
Okay, so the book goes all the way through that, and Plagueis was still alive after that.
Elected in 52 BBY, which is when
But the
he's-
book is
BBY is
is canon
Baby
or
Yoda.
is legend. The book is legend, and so it doesn't actually count now, which sucks. But it's a really cool story about how smart he was. He found this really powerful Sheev, right? That's his name, and it turns out that Sheev or Palpatine was the one who was pulling all the strings behind it and ended up being the mastermind. It was a pretty cool story. They talk about Maul as a complete throwaway character. Like, go get somebody. We can only have 2 of us. The rule of 2, which I think is canon, which makes Bane canon, but not the Bane books.
Yeah, because in episode 1, at Qui-Gon's funeral, I think it's Yoda that says at the Mace Windu there could only be 2,
Yeah,
a master and an apprentice,
yeah, and that
which
was
is the Darth Bane rule.
yeah. So I think so in that book that's when they start talking about bringing on Maul, but there's already 2 of them, so Maul couldn't technically be an apprentice, be anything, and he was just use him.
Well, so much of that is retcon too, because of just trying to add in the different things. Like, so Maul was supposed to be the apprentice, and then in the Clone Wars cartoon show, I can't think of her name.
Ventress.
Asajj Ventress.
Ventress.
Yeah.
She
Ventress
was Dooku's apprentice behind Palpatine's back. He didn't know about her until later, and
Oh,
he
really?
had her killed. Yes, he had her killed. He knew that he was using an assassin, but he didn't know that he was training her in the ways of the dark side.
Okay.
Because didn't he send Grievous to wipe him out?
Yes.
I think Grievous is the one that wiped out the witches.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's where she went. Yeah, she was there and then switched sides to help. Or she stopped. She heard about the plan and then went to go tell him to stop it, and then she escaped. Only a handful of the witches escaped.
It's because they had the power of many.
Don't go there.
I'm assuming you're talking about Acolyte. I have not seen that yet.
I haven't either. I've
It's-
watched episode 1 or whatever.
I've seen some
The
of
first-
it, and it's
It's bad. It's the writing
It's
is
not
terrible, and it's such a canon killer for so many reasons.
yeah. There's a lot. I don't want to jump on
last-
that bandwagon. Ever.
Speaking of Darth Vader, the last one that got me was the young lady's lightsaber was turning red in her hand because of all the evil and everything, and corrupting the Kyber crystal and turning it red as she held it. Yet Anakin goes in and just slaughters children, and the lightsaber stays blue.
Huh.
Like, that was the one that got me.
Yeah.
Again, it's a different interpretation of them trying to tell the story, but I think the problem is, and I did not want to get into this, and here we go. I think the problem is the story they're trying to tell is they want to do a unique take on, but in doing the unique take on, you're just going against a lot of the canonicity
Yeah.
of the show. And then you have in episode 1, Anakin is supposedly the chosen one because it's supposedly the midichlorians made Anakin, like there was no father, so he was made by Force, and that's what supposedly made him the chosen one. And then like this show just introduces, oh, here's an entire village of children conceived with the Force,
But
which
I mean, at least,
takes away
That happens in Acolyte?
oh yeah,
yeah,
Oh.
so it kind of
Well,
takes away the speciality of
Well, that was
the
supposed to be.
Anakin.
So that's all in the Plagueis book too, and in the Plagueis book, it is very much hinted that Plagueis or Palpatine created Anakin.
right. Because Plagueis is there at the end of the last episode and watches the witches or something like that, and that's where he learns how to do it. But it's the whole thing is just canon killer.
Ugh.
It really is. It's so sad. I understand what you're trying. I understand what you're trying to do, but at the same time, your fans are going, "That ain't right."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Kaio Namundi, the Jedi who's on the council.
I don't like him.
Well, he's on the council, and he's the one that says the Sith haven't been around for 1,000 years, And in the show, he's interacting. You can't have him say that in the movie and then be the one to discover the Sith in the TV show.
Well, I mean, you can say the same thing about the prequels. It was technically canon killer because when Obi-Wan says, "I don't seem to remember owning a droid in A New Hope,"
Yeah.
I mean, that was
here's the
technically
thing.
never his. I will agree with that, but I'm just saying there is stuff that like they missed in the prequels going back.
You also write that off in episode 4 of Obi-Wan not wanting to call attention to where he knows 2DPO from.
Yeah. And it wasn't his droid, it was Anakin's droid.
Correct.
So the other fun fact too is there is only 2 characters that have appeared in every Star Wars movie that is linked with an episode. So episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7, 8, and 9. There's only two characters that have appeared in every one of them.
That is R2D2 and C3PO.
Yep. They're the only 2 characters that appear in every movie.
Yeah.
In fact, if you count Rogue One, I think they are briefly in Rogue One near the end, if I
Yes.
remember properly.
Yes, they are in Rogue One. They are seen on the bridge of the Tentative Five when you see Leia. Spoiler
I don't-
alert. She's in that movie.
Spoiler alert for a 10-year-old movie. Gotcha.
It's not 10 years old already.
I don't think it's 10 years old yet.
Come out-
2016.
was it
2 more
nine
years. It's 8 years. It's
So
almost
it's not
10.
yeah, it's not a decade old yet, but it's... Well, we're not going to be in episode 2, so I will give my opinion on, I know the topic on there, in the best video games in the Star Wars series of the original 2 Battlefront. Although I did enjoy your shout out for the episode 3 video game, because that game was phenomenal.
I never played it.
And yeah, we were talking about there was a versus mode on the Nintendo GameCube, which I could have sworn was on the PlayStation 2.
Was on the.
Yeah, that game was one of the better games to come out for the series.
All
All right, so I think that's gonna wrap up this episode. Let us know below what you think would happen if with the hypothetical fight between our characters, and just let us know who your favorite character is. For episode 4, we're gonna be asking, is Boba Fett a Mandalorian? And who is the most influential non-Force user? Thank you to our guests, Tim and Mike, for joining us on this episode.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I greatly appreciate it. I enjoyed the shout out in the first episode. I didn't get a shout out in the second episode.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I can't wait
But I
to be
heard
a
you.
part of episodes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
They're never having us back.
If they only knew the 3 hours we were doing this, I would be lying if I didn't absolute blast. If you guys ever want to have me on again, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. We enjoyed having you guys here. This was really fun having more Star Wars fans to talk to about this and who know just as much as we do, if not more. Once again, thank you. I'm Thomas, Josh, and our guests are Mike and Tim. Thank you again to everyone.
Oh, I got first billing.
First time for everything.